We're talking about video content creation. Now, I know there are a lot of young people out there that want to start a YouTube channel, they want to start a YouTube show. We're talking to the guys that are doing it in South Africa today. And more specifically, Guy, today on the show, I've got Mr. Alex Shapiro, some Shap, right here on the show. Hello, sir.
How's it? How you doing?
Dude, I'm doing quite well. The circumstances of the rain, I'm so sorry. Did you get lost before you came to the radio station?
You know what my theory is in life? If you're always lost, you're never actually lost because it's the normal. So that was what happened.
It's an adventure when you get lost. That's what I believe.
Exactly.
Dude,
exactly.
I got lost in Johannesburg once, and I literally had to do that thing where you ask somebody to lower their window, but I had this face of like, guys, I'm really scared. Please lower your window. And said, where am I?
You know what the thing is, like, so you can tell by what areas were designed by when, because Joburg was designed by men with all the one ways. We're pretty set, like this is what's happening. Pretoria is a big circle, so it's like women designed it because it always comes back to the same points.
Brilliant. You see,
yeah.
You
No offense to anybody out there, but
no, you can see like Pretoria always leads back to Rome for some reason, kind of that kind of thing.
it really does.
Okay, so Alex, you are some Shap. I've seen you online. Okay, now it's some Shap everywhere. Some Shap on Instagram.
Some Shap. The only place that's not some Shap is YouTube because someone actually has it.
Damn them!
I don't know how that's possible,
Damn
but
them.
they've got no subscribers and they don't reply to my messages.
It's like they took your domain. That's so unfair.
It's okay.
Okay, so on YouTube, what is your YouTube channel's name?
Alex Shapiro official, but if you search some Shap, you about 100% times more, like there's more chance of you finding some Shap than you are of my actual name, which is what can I say is tag life, dab that.
Yeah, you've been a victim of identity theft.
Yeah,
If we
pretty
could-
much.
we could put it that way. Now, I've been seeing a lot of your videos online, and I've been seeing a lot of your Instagram work. Really, really stellar stuff. And we decided, you know what, we got to get you in to talk about this kind of thing because it's becoming a big thing in the country in terms of young people who are becoming content creators who want to start their own YouTube channel. So we want to host this on the show. So I want to know from your side, in terms of being a content creator in South Africa, where did it start? Where did you get the itch to start creating content and putting it online?
I was born. No, so I always enjoyed acting and stuff when I was a kid, and I never did it because the school I was in kind of, that's not what men do. So the men didn't do it. And I then became a professional BMXer, and from that, Instagram used to do 15-second stories. If you are brave enough to dive really deep into my Instagram feed,
You'll find it.
You'll find some of the stuff. It was called Pocket Diaries. I used to just do some crazy weird things, and I stopped writing and stopped doing the Pocket Diaries. And I loved making stuff. Like, I am really Jewish and I like selling things, and I realized that sells stuff. It really did well for my sponsor at the time.
Right.
And all the sponsors at the time, like it really helped build a brand. And I just stopped because obviously, you're shifting focus, things are changing.
yeah.
There's a bit of transition in life. And I used to get a lot of people I literally had, I'm not even kidding, in one day, 280 something people message me in one day to say, please start doing a daily vlog.
Yeah.
And they were like, you should check out this guy, Casey Neistat. And I'm like, what's this Casey Neistat guy? Who is
Yes,
he?
yeah.
And then I watched one video and I was like,
He looks exactly like me.
exactly. I was like, look at his nose, look at his hair. Oh my gosh. And then I was like, that's it, done, sold. And I decided I'm going to start doing a daily vlog. And at that time I was doing a lot of digital marketing. So I thought, well, why not just and teach my clients, like, let me do it myself.
For sure.
And I started doing it, and I love it. Like, holding a camera every day, I'm never without a camera, and it's the best thing that's ever happened.
I watched one of your videos and you said that everybody is a filmmaker. Everybody is a filmmaker. That sounds, I don't know, unrealistic that everyone can be a filmmaker. What do you mean when you say everyone can be a filmmaker?
So that video actually dived more into like the mentality of people. Like, people need to realize that whether we like to admit it or not, and a lot of people have opposing things to this, but it's very much, your eyes are not just like to see things. They are like a projector. Whatever your mind is thinking, whatever you focus on happens. And I've seen this throughout, from an extreme sporting career to my business to my vlog, everything. Like, and that's what I mean by that is, you are not just documenting your life on social media, but you are creating what happens every single day. And you need to understand that because you're a filmmaker, you need to actually direct your show in your head. And the day you start being able to do that with the right like feelings and vibrations and like actually in the right space, you will end up creating the ideal life that you want. It's something that I kind of am very strong in belief with, and I've had it in my life, even with just this year.
Yeah.
This year has been wild because of that.
So somebody who's wanting to start a YouTube channel but feels like they don't have what it takes, what would you say to someone like that? Because, I mean, you do have a lot of people out there who are like, I'm going to start this YouTube channel, but nobody's going to arrive. Nobody's going to watch this thing. Nobody's going to want to see me walking around South Africa, So what would you say to people who want to start?
I would say, you know what, it's quite tricky because a lot of people don't have the confidence to do it.
Yeah.
And it's something that is taught. You've got to learn it. And the only way I can say is to just start. Pick up your phone, even if you never publish anything. Pick up your phone and do an Insta story. And just get used to doing that, because that it is you're kind of like a crazy person talking to yourself.
For sure.
It is very weird, but at the same time, like, it teaches you a lot of things.
Yeah,
like
it's like radio. You're talking to four walls, but hoping somebody's listening.
Exactly. You like visualizing there's someone there, and a lot of people want, their biggest thing is like, I have a client who freaked out because one person watched their video, and I'm like, yo, but you need to understand that that's one person. Then all of a sudden 300 people watched it, and I'm like, picture those 300 people. Even if it's 1 or 300, it's still people. So that's what a lot of people are actually scared of, is what if no one wants to watch it? And the harsh reality is, in the beginning, no one will. Like, it's live.
Yeah.
Like,
so consistency is key then.
Absolutely.
There we go. Yeah, interesting. A social media consultant. That sounds a lot like a new age job for the millennial, which it is. Let's be real. I don't think 50 years ago you would have seen anyone dead being a social media consultant, to be honest. I mean, what does being a social media consultant entail?
Coffee. A lot of coffee.
More, how did you explain to your parents, I want to be a social media consultant? And what did they say?
Oh, that's quite easy. My parents are just like, okay. So basically, my family's my history, I left school when I was 16, started a civil construction company, built massive buildings. It was great. Before I started, I worked for a company, got in their marketing department, helped them go from like a certain level of turnover to an increased level. So I understood marketing. I grew up understanding marketing. I've always been selling stuff. And then I like selling stuff. Did I mention that before? I'm way too Jewish for my own good. I then started my own company, marketing as well. A-game, I still get calls today. It's like, hey, don't you want to build my stuff? I'm like, no. Like, that's what it is. And then obviously the digital age came in, and I was doing a lot of marketing and sales training. So I started studying. This is actually like a first. Not even my followers know this. No one really knows this except for my family. I actually have a diploma in social media marketing because I was like, I suppose I better study something. Not just Google study. And it was a waste of my time because it was literally everything that I knew. But it's okay because now I got the piece of paper.
There we go. It's just a piece of paper at the end of the day.
It changes so much that people don't really like. Anyway, so what I do is I kind of go into a company and look at their branding. Like, for some odd reason, I just have a very good ability to see systems and patterns and what sells for a company. I don't know if it's a gift. Some people are just talented at things. That's what I'm talented at. And that's what I do. I help them set up their social, do everything, and it's evolved into the content creation because I've helped brands create content that actually moves, whether a product, a service, or builds their, like, some clients actually just want exposure. So yeah, when I told my parents, they looked and they were like, okay, like, we don't know what it is, but okay. And then I'm very grateful. My mom's got an online business. My dad's got an online business. Amazing. My sister's got an online business. So everyone's online. So they kind of, it kind of sucked because now they go, oh, you can help us now. You know that family thing, eh? So they kind of like look at you and just go, don't you want to help me with this? And I'm just like, no.
Yeah, but that's incredible.
Hire someone.
I think for creatives out there, I mean, there's creatives now sitting in school that could be the next YouTube star. And I think it hinges on the parents that if they say, no, you're going to go and do an engineering degree or you're going to go and do a science degree, do you think that stifles their growth in terms of being a creative? Or do you think they'll always reach the level of being a creative?
Yes and no. I think it delays them. You know what? Like, I'm fortunate enough that my parents my dad looked at me, he's like, son, I love you. Get out of school. I mean, I went to a school where our minimum pass rate was 80%. So it's not like I was bad at school.
Right.
I just struggled to conform because I looked at this and I was just like, this is not what I don't want a job. Yeah. I want to own my own business. I want to create the life that I choose. Like, that's been my mission since I was freaking 14 years old. I will be who I want to be. How many other families actually can't afford for that to happen? And kids go in with that stigma and end up putting themselves in a box and they don't get to live their full purpose, which is like, whoa, bro, you actually kind of depleting the world of greatness.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's my thing. Like, say my 14-year-old cousin is still in school and now juggling what to do, and he's like, "But I want to start a YouTube channel." I think parents will be a little kind of like, "You need a plan B." So what was your plan B then? Just the civil engineering.
Nah, I kind of didn't have a plan B. Like,
didn't have a plan
I
B?
refused to have a plan B.
Wow.
So one of the biggest reasons why I left was I refused to have a back door. I think the problem also with studying is people have a back door, therefore they do not succeed.
Yeah.
If you don't have a back door, you got to make... Example, I was a 7-year-old kid. My dad had a practice. He's an optometrist and all the other things. But anyway, like, I had a shop outside his little practice. Like, I was pumped, going to sell stuff, shine shoes.
Yeah.
And I realized my cousin and I did it together, and, we would, hustle, like, out there hustling. But at the end of the day, if we didn't make sales, we couldn't buy more stock for the next day. And that was a big problem. And that's kind of when I learned, like, you don't have a back door. If I say, oh, no, it's okay, Dad will buy us more stock. Dad looked at me and said, no, it's your business. Do it. And for me, that was like that, boom, I don't have a back door. And also, like, with BMXing, like, you kind of learned that it's full commitment. Whatever you do, like, if you half-ass something, you're going to get hurt. And that's how I kind of, like, approached it, was why have an escape when you can only go forward?
Yeah, but how do you define success? Because I've been, I hop onto Netflix sometimes, watch Chef's Table, for example. First 2 episodes of the season, you have these guys that are saying, I was on the edge of failing all the time.
Yes.
So would you say you define success in the same? Can you get behind that kind of tagline where it's like, I'm teetering on the edge of either failing or becoming successful at the same time? Would you say you're on that edge?
I think if you're pioneering, you always are. Like, if you're pushing forward into the unknown, because, like, a lot of what I do, I mean, I don't know. A lot of content creators don't know. Like, you hit 10 million subscribers. Well, who is bigger? Who knows? There's one guy who's bigger, Like, so what do you know? Like, in anything, you don't really have. So you're always teetering on this, like, I'm going to fail, I'm not going to fail. I'm going to fail, I'm going to fail. But you don't. To me, success is, are you happy? Like, do you want to make, like, that's a big thing as well that I say to a lot of people. Do you actually want to make 10 million a year? Do you want to make 100,000 Rand a year? Like, what is it that you want? Like, if you're not happy, you're not successful. Doesn't matter how many billions you have or what you've accomplished. If you're depressed every day, that's not success.
Yeah. So what is your fascination with pineapples? What's going on?
So spot your pineapple. It's like the hashtag that I use.
Yeah.
The pineapple, to me, represents my dream, which is being able to sit on a beach. Okay, wait, hold on. Let me start from the pineapple. When a pineapple's in the ground, it's kind of like success. It looks terrible. No one wants to touch it because it's going to hurt. But when you pull it out and then you cut it up, it's this juicy, amazing, and you can put it on your pizza. But so I look at it and I go, it reminds me of something tropical, being on the beach, having my pineapple next to me, taking a sip of whatever's inside of it, working on my laptop for 2-3 hours, and then going and adventuring, spending the day. And the best part about it is, because it's on the beach, sand leaves footprints, so you can leave a track for someone else to follow.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
You took me there. I was right there with you.
That's why pineapple on pizza is for people who are winning.
So does that represent a day in the life of Alex Shapiro? Or is it more about, like, waking up and going, I wish I was at the beach?
No. I legitimately wake up every single day fired up. I don't sleep very much. I legitimately sleep on average between 3.5 to 5 hours a day, maybe.
Whoa.
Like, generally 4, that's like the average, because I'm just so fired up about life. Whether I'm now in my office or I am traveling the country, which is happening a lot now, or whatever I'm doing, it's just, I kind of, this year was to kind of find, like, how do I live off my passion? And then within 3 weeks of making that statement, I realized that you need to live a passion-filled life, and I'm just excited. Like, life's amazing.
Yeah.
It's like a pineapple, it's just sweet and
So you're
fun.
telling me you're not on anything. You just get up and that's it. You run.
I have a dream. I have a pineapple.
I need to take some tips. But in terms of tips, right? Okay, so now when you want to start your own personal branding future journey, how do you start? Let's assume, because I'm also in this league of gentlemen who doesn't really do personal branding all that well. So how now do I begin? And for the people listening, how do I begin my personal branding journey?
You got to look at it from the end point. So what do you want? Like, I looked at it and said, okay, what did I actually want to do for the next 40 years? And let me design my personal brand around that.
Okay.
So, like, for instance, you're a 14-year-old kid, you want to start, or you're a 21-year-old in varsity, nearly finished your degree. What do I want my personal brand to be? well, I need to know who do I want to be in the next 40 years? What do I want to create? I mean, obviously, it's just like a set goal because it's going to change as you grow and you change.
Yeah.
And you design your personal brand around that. So you start looking, what am I good at? What am I not good at? Who am I good with? Who am I not good with? And then you start putting those things together. That's why I'm a big advocate for young kids to start YouTube channels, because they learn a lot more than just personal branding. They learn about themselves, which creates self-awareness, and they kind of set a goal, because you want your personal brand to achieve there in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
So I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
totally
Yeah.
it does, yeah. But in terms of the practical things we can do now, say, what are your chosen social media websites and apps and all of that where we should begin? Does it start with Instagram? Are you probably not even on Snapchat anymore? How fast are we now continuing to create new platforms to put ourselves on? Which ones do you utilize?
So I'm very fastly migrating to Facebook, because whether we like it or not, the audience is still there, and it's growing very quickly. I mean, they're almost on 2 billion users and active users. That's like the key component.
All right.
Instagram may have X amount of people, but they've only got X active users. But for me, Facebook, Instagram, depending on what your brand is, Snapchat. I personally don't like Snapchat. It's not where for me. It's a personal thing. Same with Twitter. If Twitter works for what your brand needs, yes, like something like finances or even travel bloggers. Bloggers use Twitter a lot.
Yeah.
I just find Twitter is like LinkedIn's very pretentious. People are only there for their own self-gain. But for me, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. YouTube, like there's a bit of a debate. It's also who your market is.
Yes.
Like for me, my market, I'm actually wanting to target more foreigners. They're more prone to use YouTube. Whereas South Africa is more prone to use Instagram and Facebook.
Right.
So I create for each platform. Yeah.
Okay. Well, there we go. So where can we find you online, Alex? All of your stuff is
Everywhere.
Sumshap.
Sumshap,
There we go.
SOMESHAP. If you search it on Google, I will be on the whole of the front page.
Perfect.